Hey guys and gals, this is Alex with Xchange Commercial Real Estate here in Kansas City, and wanted to look at another submarket of Kansas City, a major submarket, and that's what's called Johnson County. Obviously, as the name implies, it's all about Johnson County. It's quite a large county here in the metro. I've got the map pulled up here, and it really does encompass about a quarter of the metro. And this particular submarket is most Class A. There's some Class B in here. And so I wanted to highlight that. You'll see some deals in our marketplace, but you'll look at them and go, man, that's more expensive than most of the other submarkets. And a lot of that's because of the rents that they're getting, that people are getting on them, as well as the appreciation, the population growth. It is the best and largest subclass of the entire market. So let's get into it here a bit more. I wanted to focus right now on Overland Park, which is the largest portion of Johnson County from a population standpoint. And within Overland Park, there's technically Leawood here, Roland Park, Mission. Those are all towns of less than 50,000 people. Mission has somewhere around 10,000, Roland Park, maybe 7,000. There's also Prairie Village and Fairview. To be honest, there's not a ton of apartment units in these areas. The towns are small, one, and two, it's populated with single family homes. So all of Overland Park, for the most part, is going to be an A or an A plus submarket. If you can get a good deal in this area, $100,000 per unit or so, you should definitely jump on it. There's any 2-bedroom apartment complex in this market, at least as of this recording, you should be getting at least $1,000 a month if you're upgrading it, and as long as it's not tiny. So that's Overland Park. Huge, 100 to 200,000 people live here. It's got the Sprint campus. It's got AMC headquarters. I mean, there's just so much going on the major corridors of I-6 or Highway 69, 435. It butts up to essentially state line. We talked about Jackson County earlier, and that's what this chunk of land over here is. And now we have Overland Park here just to the west of state line. And this red line right here is, in fact, state line. You can see the dash line come up here. So anything on this line in this red is going to be of high value, good appreciation, and excellent tenant base. There is more than just the T-Mobile campus and AMC over here. There's lots of major businesses and office parks all over. There's Corporate Woods, there's parts over here, a lot of restaurants, a lot of really nice tennis clubs and fitness centers, and you name it. It has everything you would see in a classic high-end Midwest suburb. Highly recommended to snag something there if you can find at a decent price. And by the way, we have done transactions in that market, and we have often other transactions that we can do in that market. So please reach out to me. We can talk about these and go from there. All right, so just to the west is this little town right here, highlighted in purple, and it's Merriam, Kansas. And the reason why I didn't loop it in with Mission and Roland Park is because it is probably, especially up in the northern end here, more of a strong Class B market. And again, another highly recommended market. But I wanted to point out that Merriam is a bit more Class B in this area. There's a bit more industrial, a bit more blue collar workers. Still a great market to get into. Small, but if you find something there, you should snag it. All right, then we get into what I call Olathe. Well, not what I call, what is Olathe. And this is Olathe, Gardner kind of area here. This is also a very strong Class B, a lot of Class A in this. The town, I think it's one of the fastest growing towns in Kansas. There are so many different developments going on. Downtown has a new development going on. Rents should be very high, maybe not quite as high as Overland Park, but definitely as you get into the bigger units, as people get priced out of Overland Park, they jump over here to Olathe and down here to the Spring Hill Stillwell area. But this is the Olathe submarket. And within this, again, you got 35 here that comes all the way down and drives a lot of this development. If you drive on 35, there is so much warehousing, spec built warehousing, flex office space, a lot of industrial manufacturing in this town. There's also good schools, several schools. They're building new schools all the time. Downtown's revitalized. Great submarket. Keep your eye on that one. I anticipate this to be very similar to Overland Park in the coming years in terms of rents and rent growth. All right, so now let's focus back up here on the Shawnee, Lenexa area. And that's this blue area here, which is going to be west of 35 and includes 435 in the heart of this market. And Shawnee is going to be very similar, frankly, to Overland Park. A lot of new developments. It is a little bit west, so it's going to be a bit more sprawled. It's going to be more spread out. It's got a lot of great houses. They are doing a lot of the same things that Overland Park was doing. They are doing with good schools. It's just a smaller town maybe than Olathe, but still a very, very strong submarket that is going to be similar price to Overland Park. Okay. And again, this area here is the Shawnee area, Lenexa area. All right. So now let's focus our attention on the south side of Johnson County. Again, a huge county. Spring Hill's a pretty small town, I'll be honest. There are developments going on here, and Spring Hill actually straddles both Johnson County and Miami County, barely in the metro here. And we don't even cover that as part of the metro because, again, Spring Hill is all about the same. Value is not going to be a whole lot different when you jump the county line. But still, Spring Hill is a town down here worth investing and looking at. Very small, not a ton of apartments because it's grown recently. The old apartments that are there are fine. Same thing with Stillwell in this area. A lot of large acreages and people that live on 5, 10, 20 acres down here that are very expensive, very nice homes. So keep an eye on anything you see down here that's maybe a duplex, fourplex, or apartment building. If you can snag it for a decent price, something I would consider and we can look at together. So that covers this southern part of Johnson County, your Spring Hill, Stillwell area. Again, butts up right up next to the state line of Kansas here and Missouri. And then that'll bring us over to the Edgerton. And this is another industrial corridor similar to Olathe that's expanding. It's smaller. It's got a smaller town feel. It's got there might be an additional high school, but it's a really pretty small submarket. But there is a lot of manufacturing, warehouse, communications, all in this sector that is producing jobs. And the state of Kansas is pushing for jobs to go into this area. So keep your eye on that if you can snag something down there. We have several investor clients that do have properties in that area, and rents are climbing. We'll just put it that way. And finally, to round us out in the Johnson County submarket, we can take a look at this place out west of all the major towns. It's got DeSoto in it. I think Baser's in this. And it's just got several different small towns with not a ton of apartment complexes, to be honest. And so, keep your eye out for it, but it's not going to be something where you can just only buy in this area just because there's so few of apartment complexes. And to be honest, not a ton is really known. You got Baser is a fine town. These are all going to give you the small town feel, similar to what we see in other outer reaches of the metro, like Excelsior Springs, like Lone Jack, maybe like a Grain Valley, Oak Grove. So keep in mind, there's not a ton of opportunity out there, but if you see something worth taking down, because it does have a big draw because it's in Johnson County, people want to live in that county, great schools, low taxes, just a great place to raise a family. So it has a very high draw. It has everything you need as well. So that's the entire county of Johnson County, very powerful county when you look at your investments. It is typically called JOCO for Johnson County, JOCO, the land of no cash flow. But when we are direct to seller on a lot of these deals, we've actually been able to find some really good deals for people before they hit the market. Once they hit the market, they're typically overinflated and hard to make the deal work. And I'm happy to provide guidance and advice on how I see it, and we can continue to talk about it. Very, very large population in this county of 200,000 plus. It is a good county to invest in if you can find the right deals. Be careful because it does get very pricey and does kind of squeeze your cash flow. So let's zoom back out so we can all get our bearings here on Kansas City, where this is at. Heart of the market and right in the middle, and then spreads out to the south and to the west. And that is the overview of Johnson County, Kansas. This is Alex Olson with Xchange Commercial Real Estate here in Kansas City. Thank you for paying attention and look forward to hearing from you soon.